So here's the free bin that I got from the city of Mesa. I know that other cities, they deliver them, but they may charge $5. And I do a 3-bin system, and that kind of allows the churning to happen as I transfer it from one bin to the next bin. So here's kind of my method. This is what I've been doing for my leaves that I harvest. I rake my neighbor's leaves and also look for leaves that are bagged up in alleyways, and then I use them for compost, and that kind of gives me a lot of matter that I can use. So anyway, what I do with the leaf method is, well, first I always keep a nice thick layer of leaves at the top of my compost, kind of acts as an insulator, and if I had put veggie scraps underneath that, it seals it off. A brown or a carbon on top is how you're going to kind of not get the fruit flies, which can be an issue with a lot of the green material like kitchen scraps. If they're not covered with the brown, they get buggy. But anyway, so what I do for this bin is I basically fill it up about a quarter of the way, and then I add water. Water is essential to getting the microbes to kind of feed on each other and live, and thus breaking it down. It's part of the decomposition process. So I'd fill it quarter of the way with some leaves, water it, and then I would add some kitchen scraps in there as another layer, and then I would add more leaves, water it, and do that, kind of layer it a few different times until it fills up. It's a pretty big bin, so it only fills up probably halfway. And then I water the top and let it sit for about 3 weeks. Then I come back, and that's when I stir it and move it to the second bin. And if I had chickens at this point, I could, before I transfer it to the second bin, I could let the chickens jump in, and they'd get some grubs and different bugs that they may find, all the while fertilizing it, as their poo is basically super nitrogen rich. So then I would let them do their digging around, and when they're done, I would transfer the matter from this to the next bin, in which it breaks down. And when it breaks, basically it needs to sit, if you're using chickens as to help with your composting, their waste needs to sit and compost, which breaks it down. So then I would do the same thing here. Once I've mixed it, put it in here, add more leaves, add water, stir it, let it sit. So I'm using a method that's kind of layering it like lasagna, letting it sit, and then I stir it and move it to the next bin. So I do 3 weeks, sometimes 3 months. It depends on how much matter I have and how much it's breaking down to. You have to make sure to water it. It's so dry here in Arizona. That's kind of one of the challenges. And we'll talk a little bit more about composting next week, but I just wanted to show you one of my 4 composting methods that I use.